Hi, my name is Kevin O'Connor, and this is my informational speech. Hello, again, my name is Kevin O'Connor, and when I was 15, on January 17th, actually, 2012, I walked into a old, rundown comedy club, and by the time I walked out, 2 hours later, I knew what I wanted my career to be, which was to be a comedian. The purpose of this speech is to inform my audience of my career path as a stand-up comedian, which I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. And just to preview a few points, I want to be a comedian because I have a passion for comedy. I have always loved jokes. I love to travel, which a comedian has to do. It has very little educational requirements, which is good because I don't like school. It has very little financial dedication, which is good because I don't have money to spend on it. I just want to make money from it. And big cities. I love big cities, and that's where most comedy takes place, is in places like Chicago, LA, New York. Why I chose this career? I think I've always had a natural sense of humor since I was a little kid. And also traveling is one of my favorite things to do. I mentioned that in the previous slide. I love traveling between different cities, and road trips are great. I actually enjoy airports and airplanes, unlike most people. And performing in front of people is extremely fun for me. There's an adrenaline rush in it, and I enjoy being in front of other human beings and having them listen to me. And one of the first things I had to find out about becoming a comedian was, how do I become involved? And on comedians.about.com, I learned that you have to perform as soon as you possibly can. As soon as you feel the desire to go perform, make sure you have a couple jokes and then just go do it and get it out of the way, because you don't want that passion for the career to fade. You can't have a fear on stage. You can't have stage fright at all, because that would just nix the entire career, because that's what your entire job is being in front of other people. And you need to always be writing, which doesn't necessarily mean writing, but it could mean, like, just coming up with new material and keeping your set fresh and keeping people interested in what you are saying and doing. Good places to perform, basically just any big city. LA, New York, Chicago, anywhere where people are and they're looking for things to do and looking for ways to be entertained. I looked that up on usatoday.com. They had an article which featured Amy Schumer, actually, who is a female comedian. She's popular. Basics of performing. You can't have stage fright at all. I mentioned that a couple slides ago. And when you are performing, you need to, or preferably before you start performing, you need to pick a target, which doesn't necessarily mean a person, but could mean like an institution or an idea or a thing that you have interested enough to make at least a few jokes about. You need to have material on that topic or target, and you need to execute the humor. You can't just go up there and talk about anything, because that's not funny. You have to make sure that people are always going to laugh at that joke, that there's a science to it. And what's interesting about this career over others is that there is very little financial and educational requirements for it, especially educational. You don't need a degree to become a comedian. You don't need anything to become a comedian, really, just except for a sense of humor and a microphone, which the venues you're performing at always provide for you. And it will cost me time and effort more than it will money, just because you need to put the effort into becoming good at the career, and you need to put the effort into becoming even better than other people around you, so people will be able to pick you out of the bunch. Living in a city is expensive, though, which is the only issue financially. But plenty of people live in cities. I'm sure I'll be able to afford it. I looked that up on Nubio.com. And in conclusion, my goal is to become a stand-up comedian because I love comedy. I've always loved performing. I've lived in big cities a lot of my life. And I love to travel, which is something a comedian has to do. That's my career. Thank you.